We want to today cover Asana portfolio rules because it's a feature that it's there, but we see some customers perhaps not leveraging them or not exactly understanding how to use them or why would it be useful to set up portfolio rules. Now, along with portfolio rules, I'll also add some quick tips on how you can add projects to a portfolio. In case you don't know, portfolios in Asana are folders that allow us to group projects that are related to a single initiative. So think about them as folders. Now I'm going to navigate to my Asana over here, and then I'm going to access a portfolio. So if you are using the new UI sidebar, you would go into work, and that's where you're going to now find the portfolios. And I'm going to choose my 2026 events, which essentially is a portfolio that we are using to track different events that we are working on. So before we jump into portfolio rules, let's talk a bit on how we can add projects to a portfolio. It's very easy to do that manually. You would just click add work, and then you'll be able to add either another portfolio if you want to do a nested portfolio structure or any of your existing projects. You would click that, and then it's going to prompt you to give access to the people in the portfolio or don't give access. So you have the chance to do that. And now your project is going to be there. So that works. And if you want to start a new project, a blank project, rather than clicking the add work tab, you will click on the arrow and then you will click create new project or create new portfolio. So if your team is creating projects manually, then this solves that, right? Whenever you create your project, you add it to your portfolio, or you can directly create a blank project for that. There's another option, and this is quite new as well in Asana, which is linking a project template to a portfolio. Why would you do that? So that then when people are clicking this button, they also have the template available there. So rather than having to click create new project and then choose one of the templates or start a blank project, then they will see the template directly over there. How would you do that? You would click customize, and now in the customize menu, you're going to have the project templates tab. So as you click into that, you can then add that, and your project template is going to be once you select it. So I'll choose this one, for example. Then we add it to the portfolio. And if I go back to my portfolio and I want to add a new project, I'm just going to click on that. And now I can quickly create a project from that template. I will click into that, and then I'll use the template. I create my project, and then that project is going to be added to my portfolio. So that's a way to ensure that your teams know what template to use, and it's linked to the portfolio where all of those projects shall live. Let's remove anyway this project from here now. And then the other option, which is automatically adding a project to a portfolio, can be done if you are leveraging any intake project in Asana. That's something that we've covered on past webinars. So if you have, I'm going to navigate to any intake project that I may have over here. So let's use this one as an example. You can create a rule to say, okay, we're going to receive our requests, either if those are campaign, product launches, internal projects, as tasks through a form submission. And then when this gets approved, we're going to convert them into a project using the applicable template. When you do that, you can also send the project automatically to a portfolio. And that is also a checkbox that sometimes gets forgotten or people don't see it, but it solves the issue of having to manually add that project to the portfolio. So if I were to navigate to this rule, here you can see that in this case, what we're saying is when the approval status is changed, if that task is approved, we're going to convert the task to a project using a project template. And when you get into that action, this is where you're going to see the checkbox to add to a portfolio. So from here, you're able to say, okay, add to a portfolio, and then you choose to which portfolio you want to add that. I'll say, for example, the 2026 events. By doing that, I ensure that once this task is converted to a project, it's going to automatically land into that portfolio rather than having to manually do that. And you could say, hey, but I know that if I navigate to the project template, there's also a setting to add a project to a portfolio. And that's true. That's something that you could use as well. Now, why this one is interesting or better even in some use cases is it allows you to have more granularity on which portfolios should be added. So if I navigate to our project templates, and I'm going to open up this one, for example, I can go into the template, go to settings, and then say, okay, I want every time that this project template is used, I want to add it into this portfolio. But that's always going to be the same portfolio. When you do it through rules, you can then set up conditions to say, okay, if let's say project type. So if the project type is set to partnerships and events, then I want to send it to the 2026 events portfolio. However, if the project type is set to technology and tools, I would like to send it to another portfolio, not the events one. So you can get more specific on how do you want to route those projects to a portfolio. With that being said, let me go back to our 2026 events portfolio, and then we're going to take a look at portfolio rules. Now, if you've seen portfolio rules in the past, you're going to see that they don't have as many triggers, conditions, and actions as project rules would do. And we cannot use AI Studio there yet. But there are still great things that we can do with portfolio rules to ensure that our portfolios are maintained and up to date, and not just a list of projects that we have there, but that we are not keeping up to date. How do you add a portfolio rules? You would go to customize, you would go to rules, and then you would click add, and that will take you to the same rule builder that you have at the project level, but specifically to manage work within a portfolio. In this case, I have created my 2026 events portfolio. So these are all events that are happening, and all the rules that you're going to see over here are related to this use case. Now, let's get started with the first one. Something that you may leverage if you are using the portfolio is the due date of that project, which can be a specific date, only one due date, or it can be a date range for the amount of days and months that we should work on that project. Now, what I've done with the first rule that I have over here is to say, when work is overdue 3 days after, but we could say 1 day after or 1 week after, or custom if you want to do another set of days, what I want to do is draft an update with AI. So what do I want to do in that work item? So in that project that is now overdue, I want to set the status to off track. And then I want, when AI is working on that status update, you can also define if it should look for the last 14 days, for the last week, for this week, or define other ones if you'd like to. As you can see over here, that status update is not going to be automatically published. So it's not that AI is going to do it for you and it's going to publish and everybody is going to see that. What this is going to do is it's going to create that status update as a draft, and then whoever is that project owner or project admin can then publish that status updates. But it can easily help us keep that updated. And I set off track over here, but you could set at risk, for example, like you can choose which option to use. In this case, I've added a manual trigger just because I don't have any projects that are matching that overdue option at the moment, but I'm going to do it with manually. And then of course, by, for example, May 4th, if we come over here, that rule is going to fire, right? Because it's going to be 3 days after April 30. Now, if I click onto this, I'm going to manually run that rule, which I've named overdue. And then we're going to see how, if we navigate to this project in a minute, here we can see how our rule is running. That new draft update is going to be there for us to publish. This project is now on track, right? But then once we access the project, we'll be able to see that. So I'm going to open up in a new tab, and then when I click on the status update, now I can see that there is a new draft that was added. So if I click into that, here I can see that AI draft that status update based on that rule. So it's saying critical events delays, all of event tasks and key milestones overdue by 8 days. And it has surfaced all the milestones that are overdue, who is owning them, and what do we need to do in order to make this project on track as well. So a good way to ensure that at least we have AI drafting those status updates when something is overdue. And of course, members at this point can make the edits that they would like to and then post that. So only when a human posts it, is when this is going to be available for you. That's the first rule that we wanted to show you. Now, the second one that I've added over here is to add events lead to high priority events. A very straightforward rule, but essentially what this is saying is if we ever have an event and we are changing the priority to be high, we always want Michelle, which is our events lead, to be added as a member because she should be a project member of those projects. So when you click into that action, you can add multiple people, not only one person, and then you can define what access they are going to have. So if they should only have view access, then you could do that. If you can do editor access, or if you want to do project or portfolio admin, you have the options to choose that as well. You could also add conditions over here. So if you, for each of the priorities, there's certain people that should be added, you can do that. And this is a priority field, but it could be any single select field. So if you want to do project type, for example, and ensure that when you set up that custom field, only a person should be added, you can do that as well. So in this case, it would be priorities change, and then we would add priority is high, we add that person. If priority is medium, we add another person. If priority is low, we add another person. And of course, those members are going to receive a notification in their inbox that they have been added as a member to that portfolio. The third rule and the fourth one is what do we do with completed projects? Sometimes we get our team to use portfolios, they're using the status updates, but then we have 200 projects with a match of archive projects, completed projects, off-track projects, on-hold projects. So there are ways to automate that so that when your projects are either completed or archived, you can perhaps remove them from the active portfolio and send them to an archive portfolio. And you can decide if your trigger is going to be the completion of the project, so setting the status update to complete, or the archiving of the project. If your team decides that they would want to right-click and archive that project, then that's an option as well. So how those rules looks like, I'm going to open up the first one, and this is when the status is changed. So in this case is when someone says that that project is completed. Very simple, very straightforward. When the status is changed, the status is set to complete. We want to remove the project from the portfolio. We want to also archive that project. So Asana will automatically do that for us. And then we want to add it to an additional portfolio, which is going to be our completed events for 2026. So that then we know that this is only to tracking in progress events that have not been completed yet. And then if our leaders or any team member need to go and see which were the completed events, they can directly navigate to the other portfolio without having to search with the active portfolios once. Now, an alternative to that, if perhaps your team is not using status updates, even though we recommend to use them, but there are teams that do not use them, is using the archiving as the trigger. So in this other rule is one, when work is archived in this portfolio, that is a trigger that is also available, remove it from the portfolio and then add it to an additional portfolio. So then that wouldn't need someone to set the project status to completed. It would need someone to archive that portfolio. So we can run an example on that. If I say, for example, on our Barcelona event, I'm gonna set the status to complete. I can draft anything that I need over here or use AI. And then when I post that, that's going to kick off my rule, as you can see over here. And then we shall see how that project is removed from this portfolio and it will be added to our completed events portfolio. So if I search for that, you can see how our project is here, how it has been archived. And well, it has this information over here. If we had the same custom fields as we have in the 2026 events, those would carry over as well. The other option would be archiving, right? So I'm going to activate that rule because that one is pause. You can always activate a rule from here. So you activate it and then you save it. And I'm going to say, okay, we've also done the Australia event. So I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to archive that project. And then that's also going to remove that from this portfolio and add it to our completed events one. So those are the two rules that you could set up to ensure that your completed projects are removed from this one and added to another portfolio. I have a few other ones. So another one that we can set up is rather than automatically creating a status updates draft, we can get a status reminder. So it's going to prompt someone to, hey, ensure to go in and create a status for that project. So how would that work? In this case, I've chosen due date is approaching. So 2 weeks before the due date of that project, I want to get a status reminder. So what that is going to do is going to create a task and then then whoever is that project owner will receive a notification to go and set up the status update for that project. This is more of like a notification type of rule. And then the last one that I wanted to show you, and this one is specifically in this case to the budget of these events. So I have a few columns over here. I have a budget column set up is a number field set up as a currency. I have project expenses. In this case, this is a roll up field. So it's rolling up all the expenses that are being tracked at the task level. And then it's giving me the total of how much we've spent for that event. And then I have a formula field that is giving me the remaining budget. What I've done with this rule is say, okay, if the project expenses, if the actual spend is higher than the budget, is greater than that, I want to do something because something should happen when we achieve that scenario. So if we navigate to rules, that rule is essentially saying if project expenses is changed, and then if project expenses is greater than budget, I want to draft an update with AI. So similar to the other one that we already saw. In this case, what I'm going to say is that I'm going to set the status to at risk. We are not sure that is off track, but we should take a look into that and see if we are able to get more budget or if we should stop our spend because now we've reached and used all of our budget. So that's why I'm setting up to be at risk. And in this case, I said last week. So if we are ever over here, our team has added more expenses into the project. So I'm going to open up this London project, for example, and I'm going to add a new expense over here. And I'm going to make this a very high number, right? So that we can make that greater than the budget. So we have that. We have our events over here, and then we're going to see how the project expenses for our London project is higher than the budget that was assigned. So if I navigate now to that project, I should have a new draft over here. So I can click view draft, and then it's the status update created on April 16th. So this is being set to at risk. In this case, it's empty because that's an old project that didn't have much information, but it would add any new information that we include into that. But that's another way to get notified or to have at least that draft created for us when something like that happens. Of course, if you have the timesheets budgets add-on on each of your individual projects, you could create your budget and you could create a threshold notification so that you receive that once you are getting closer to your total budget, Asana is going to notify you. But if you don't have the chance to have this add-on for your projects, that could be another way to do that. And those are just examples. You can do that with any number field that you are using for your projects to ensure that if one number field is higher than another one or is empty or it has been updated, you can do a few actions as well. So those are the portfolio rules that I wanted to show you for this webinar. Of course, I believe that these are going to be updated as well. And now AI teammates can also be added to portfolios. So we can give access of an AI teammate to a portfolio and then prompt them to do things. That's something that we all at Cirface team are exploring. So we are going to come in future webinars with how to use that as well. But again, if you don't have AI teammates, if you don't have AI Studio, you can still leverage portfolio rules to keep your portfolio up to date. One more thing that I always want to say when it comes to portfolios is in order for your portfolio timeline to be useful, it's good to have milestones. So if you have project templates or, blank projects, that could be something that you do as well. Ensure that for those key steps of your project, like the launch of the campaign, event completion, the launch of your website, whatever that may be, you track those as milestones. Because then when you go to the timeline view, those milestones are going to be visible there. And this is just for projects. But when you are managing 20, 30, 50 projects, it's good to have summary of which are those key items that we need to work on. And if you don't do milestones, those are not going to be visible there. You're just going to get the information of the project start date and due date, who's the owner. You could color code it so that the color is connected to the status, but then you won't see the milestones for each of your projects. So if that's something that you're not using yet, I recommend that you start doing that. Thank you once again for joining us. I hope that you have an amazing day and rest of your week, and we'll see you on the next one.